Yes. All right, I think we're live. It's tiring, dude. It was a huge, huge pain in the ass, as you can imagine. I mean, imagine picking up everything you own and then taking it to a different location. You know?
I have moved before, so I don't have to imagine it per
Exactly,
se.
exactly. I can give a quick tour, I guess. I got
yeah.
pops over there, as you can see. Over here, and bunch of aliens, predators, and then Marvel.
Oh, I see
Marvel.
Littlefoot up there.
Yeah, well, that's long neck, actually. I don't want to call you out on your Land Before Time lore, but I will if I have to.
I thought Longneck was like the species, what they call like brachiosaurs or whatever.
Yeah, Littlefoot
like,
was
the character's name was
character.
Littlefoot.
Well, you know what? I think we should. That's debatable.
No, I don't.
You were making a big fucking stink about me getting the name wrong. You gave me a lecture about me getting the name wrong.
They made like 20 of these things at least.
Yeah, at one point they called his ass Longneck in the one I watched. All right.
Well, they were like Sharptooth and like all sorts of other like stupid names for like the different types of dinosaurs.
Yeah. Well, anyway, then this is all Transformers and G.I. Joe. This whole rack here. I'm gonna do a diorama, I think, up on this shelf.
You're gonna do like a battle scene between them and Cobra or something.
Yeah, and then that's what I got going on the table for the most part. They're all battling.
Gotta have Omega Supreme up and ready.
Oh, dude, I was playing with him last night. Actually, he is a fun fucking toy. He's so fun. So yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out. We're just talking about my move. Everything got moved. So yeah, we'll do segment 1. Some stuff that we did, watched, or whatever outside of normalcy. News, Substack news, more news there. Some news about the coronavirus and DC,
of course,
and DC Comics. The Batman's moving back to New York City. Yes, back. I said back. Miles Morales what ifs with a spin have been announced, and it's kind of lame.
It is kind of lame.
We'll talk about it. Oh, and Star Wars is moving again, going back home, in a sense. Hawkeye. We'll talk about 2 episodes of Hawkeye if you guys watched it.
I did watch it, yeah.
We watched the first one.
Got that No Way Home trailer. If you guys just briefly, it's been like a month. It feels like a month.
I mean, the movie itself is going to be here before too much longer,
Another week. It's like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
News, and then huge moment of destruction. 2 bits of news with a couple of new series announced, and then 2 books. King Grimlock.
3 books, isn't it?
I didn't get a King Grimlock.
You didn't get a King Grimlock?
Did you get a King Grimlock number 4?
Yeah, I got a King Grimlock.
Well, we're going to have to skip it because I didn't get one.
Oh, well, it was the best book.
Damn. Well, we'll fly past.
You'll just have to do like I do and just listen to him talk without commenting because you don't know anything about it.
There's not much to review with it.
It's just awesome. It's just awesome.
Yeah.
And then top 3, which Taylor I don't think is going to be a part of this week.
I've been trying to power through. I've got like 3.5 books read, so I can half-ass a top 3 for you.
Did you read Black Panther?
I am in the middle of reading that right now.
That's all you need this week. Holy shit, was it good. Oh, it was fucking excellent. Way better than Hulk. Way better than Hulk. Anything else you gentlemen want to add to the show? Oh, just watch Ghostbusters 4. I haven't seen it yet, Andy. Thanks for stopping by. I mean, I really want to see it, but I'm just down on theaters. Like, I've been down on theaters since way before the pandemic. I am not a fan of going to the movies, I love movies, which the pandemic kind of worked out for me because now all the movies are streaming like same day. But yeah, I want to see it, but it'll probably be a minute, bro. And I heard it was good. I heard it was dope.
I haven't gotten around to it yet. I've been busy on the weekends with Thanksgiving and everything. So
yeah.
All right, if you guys got nothing, we're doing the show. Speaking of Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. If I wanted a joke, I'd follow you into the John and watch you take a leak.
Oh, wow. See, you say that, Frankie? And thanks for stopping by. I cry at the end of E.T. Every time. Every time. Never fails. another episode of This Geek in Comics, Outright Geekery's comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk show.
Gomer, Adam, Normal, Taylor. E.T. It's the part where E.T. says to Elliot, "Come," and then Elliot says, "Stay." Oh, I get choked up just
It's
thinking
that part,
about it.
not the part where they finger each other.
Oh, come on.
Adam, maybe you could just not be a huge dick about its classic moment in cinema history.
Yeah, he ruins it, dude. He ruins it. So, yeah, what's going on, guys? Everybody have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I was over at my brother's place, and we had 3 nights of like Marvel Power Hours, like back to back. Like we watched Hawkeye on Wednesday. My mom had never seen Black Widow, so we watched that on Thursday. And
That's cool. That's fun.
My brother and sister-in-law hadn't watched Shang-Chi, so we watched that on Friday. So
that was basically my weekend too, just watching old shit that I had already seen. You know, we will talk about Hawkeye later in the show, as well as the new Spider-Man trailer that we've somehow missed because of all the shenanigans I had with moving. We already talked about me moving. I did watch some stuff because I had plenty of stuff to do, so I just put shit on in the background. First, King Richard. Will Smith, the Venus and Serena Williams movie. Basically how this father basically he's like so hard on his fucking kids, man. And it's hard for me because I'm not that parent at all. I am the opposite of being hard on their kids and pushing them to be the best that they can be. Dude, you're the best any way you decide you want to be. Okay. That's my opinion on it. But it's hard to compete. Hard to argue with a guy who literally has the greatest tennis player of all time and the most decorated champion of all time. I guess Vina is the most decorated champion of all time.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. You can't really
Serena
argue with
is
his results here,
the best tennis player of all time, and it's weird. Like he calls it like, he's like, your sister's going to be number 1 in the world, but you're going to be the best there ever was. He says that to Serena in the movie. And it happens. So it was still good. It's like your basic sort of sports movie, all triumphant at the end. I also watched the Alanis Morissette documentary on HBO. Did anyone else watch that?
I wasn't aware it existed.
No, me neither.
Finding Kendrick Johnson. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have no idea who's Kendrick Johnson. Anybody? Am I out of the loop on this? Everybody is good.
I am too, I fear.
So yeah, it's a great documentary. Alanis Morissette. Finally, I watched Click Click Boom. Lin-Manuel Miranda directed it. It's the biographical musical drama film directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda. It's actually his featured directorial debut, which I didn't realize.
Interesting,
but good for him.
Yeah.
But it's based on the stage musical of the same name by Jonathan Larson, and he is the guy who wrote Rent, who made Rent, which changed musicals forever. And it had a lot of Rent sort of feels to it. It's bohemian and woke, but it was really good. It was fun. And it's good music, dude. I would say if you're not kind of like a musical nerd, you're probably not going to like it, but you should watch it because Andrew Garfield is a fucking beast in this.
I bet he is
amazing.
I bet he loves doing that theater stuff.
He's so good.
Is this a musical?
It is a musical.
Okay. I figure with Lin-Manuel, but I didn't want to,
sure,
just assume.
I mean, you should, but yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda basically, modeled his entire professional life around, John Larson. So, he actually died. Like he worked his ass off, got one thing made. They just did a workshop on it. Then he did Click Click Boom, which is the adaptation. This movie, is. But then he got to do Rent. He actually died like the week Rent opened.
Jeez.
He had like an aneurysm or some shit. And Rent ran for like 15 fucking years, But anyway, yeah, it was a really cool movie. But really, I think it's only for like musical geeks. So, anything else? What else you guys do? Adam, what you do?
Yeah, I also watched some stuff also. I watched Wheel of Time, which dropped on Amazon.
It's on my list.
Yeah.
It was pretty okay. It does suffer from some poor TV tropes that are interwoven into it.
Okay.
There is an unnecessary fridging in the beginning of the series.
Oh God, that goes all through me, and like I can't forget it.
I know, but the Trollocs are fucking awesome.
Okay.
They are really well done. The effects are actually pretty decent. And once you get beyond some of the unnecessary, just I don't know why it's in there, TV tropes that's in the very beginning, it actually sticks pretty closely to the story
series,
of the books.
the book series. That's cool.
So it's been all right. And then the other thing I watched was I watched the first episode of Hawkeye this morning.
It was dope, man.
It was dope.
We're gonna talk about Hawkeye later. I mean, it's a little heavy on the comedy, but I think that's what they're going for. But again, we'll talk about that in a bit. Let's do the news. It was all a big Marvel week for everybody so far. I think that trend is going to continue. All right, let's just get this out of the way. We talked about Substack on here a few times. A bunch of awesome comic book creators moving away from the big two and going to Substack with these exclusive deals. Like they're making all kinds of money. James Tynion IV gave up the most popular comic book in the world, Batman. Argue with me all you want. It is.
It is.
No one's going to argue it's not popular. I mean, it is very undeniably popular.
Yeah. It's terrible, but hey, whatever. That's just the world we live in.
Well, the Tynion era is over with now, so maybe
it's close.
It's been slumming it in the mediocre range for a really long time now.
Well,
yeah.
No, the next more issues, don't he?
No, the next issue is Williamson.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I can't wait till tomorrow night show. We can talk about that.
Yeah, Tynion's last issue was last week's, right, where they wrapped up that Fear State stuff.
Yeah.
So Substack has reached 1 million paid subscribers. That's the news.
So how many books have they published?
None. 0 published.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
Well, a lot of people are taking a leap of faith. There is a pretty talented roster here, so it's probably going to work out pretty well for them. But I think I will wait, for people to have not books in hand, but books on screen, right? Before I think about doing it myself.
Yeah. The Substack said that the top 10 publications on the site bring in $20 million per year.
Jeez.
I mean, that's something.
That is something.
Just 10 emailed newsletters make them $20 million a year. And that's the thing here, okay? We were kind of worried. We were like, wow, this could really cut into the comics, into the comics industry. It's not. It's not. Not in any fucking way, shape, or form. The top 5 comic book subs on the platform. Hickman's 3 Worlds, 3 Moons, Tynion's The Empire of the Tiny Onion, Scott Snyder's Our Best Jacket, which is unique because he's actually giving school on there. He's doing school on his channel. Yeah. So for news, what exactly is Substack? Excellent question, Frankie. It's a real easy answer. Substack is email newsletters. That's it. It's MailChimp, bro. But what Substack has done is they have actually curated. They have gone out and sought out writers to join the platform, paying them up front to write a weekly, 2 times a week, whatever newsletter. And that's it. That's basically it. I mean, this is not reinventing the wheel.
Yeah. Well, they're able to use this. Well, the part that we care the most about is, basically a Netflix for comic books.
I mean, is that really what this is, though?
In a sense, I mean, you're paying a subscription fee to get, some sort of media. But in this case, it's comics instead of, videos and movies.
Okay, and I will stay with your analogy, and I will say...
It's just very specific subscriptions.
But all we've gotten so far is the director's commentary. And not even the director's commentary. It's sort of like the director's diary.
That's why I haven't paid into it yet.
It's nothing yet. It's nothing yet. It's just a bunch of creators, except for Scott Snyder.
Once they figure out how they're distributing books, and they start actually distributing books,
then my problem.
I'll probably hop onto it. But
the how they're going to do it, what format, PDF, CLZ, whatever, CBC file, whatever file they want to fucking use. I don't give a shit. The problem is they ain't published a damn thing yet. And they charging these people $8 a month
at
just
least
for Inside Baseball.
That's for one.
Yeah, it's
Just
get
$8
all of
per
them.
person, right? Per
Yeah,
author that you subscribe
one
to.
sub.
So this can get pretty expensive if you're going to branch out to a lot of people.
And most of these creators, at least in the top 5, Kateson Stegman and Jeff Lemire wrap out the top 5, have said, no, we're going to publish these on paper as well. What the? I don't know.
I'm sure they'll send a trade to the
know.
bookstores when this is all done.
It just freed them from, the corporate assholes that is the big two to do whatever
It
they want.
It did do that. I'm not going to argue that because it did do that. But it's like people are paying just to get a blog.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're paying for right now.
That's what they're paying for. It baffles my.
It's kind of reminiscent
mind.
of like the olden days back when like people would publish short stories in like magazines, right? Like that's how the old Sherlock Holmes stories first got released, was in like you paid a subscription for a magazine, or like you picked it up at the newsstand or whatever. And yeah, one of the features was a new Arthur Conan Doyle Sherlock Holmes story.
Isn't that what Stan Lee started writing for? These magazines where he would just do short stories in these magazines?
Yeah,
Isn't that how he got started?
I believe so.
I know Neil Gaiman basically got started that way. The stories were a little bit more adult oriented.
I think Alan Moore slummed it around. Like, I think a lot of the British writers slummed it around in like Warrior magazine and like stuff like that for a while.
Yeah. It's only. Oh my God, Frankie. Yes,
it is. It basically is.
Fucking OnlyFans.
That is a better analogy than Netflix. I will say.
Really
you're paying a specific content creator for like whatever it is you're doing.
That's awesome. So the platform appears to be doing exactly what it set out to do: allow fans to keep up with the very slow process of creating comics. So, but I think it's safe to say that they're touting this success already, and it has not impacted the comic book industry at all.
Well, it has, I will say, as far as talent and content,
Well,
we have definitely seen a huge, at least on DC, I have seen a real big sort of brain drain a little bit.
But I don't know if that's
now we're getting a lot of these newer art who aren't, not some of them are bad, but I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
I can tell a real changing of the guard has happened.
And we like to complain about this ending Hickman's X-Men run prematurely here. I mean, it undeniably has done that.
No, I don't know about that either. His contract was up. He had a 3-year contract. Any of these folks in the top 5, Hickman, Tynion, Snyder, Kate Stegman, and Jeff Lemire, are all successful on the indie level, on the creator-owned level. They don't need Substack.
But would Tynion have left
Batman?
Would Tynion have left Batman if Substack wasn't a thing?
That's, again, we can keep the focus on Tynion if we want. And no, I think the answer to that is no. He would not have left Batman if Substack wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's fair to say that Hickman, because his 3-year contract was up.
Well, I guess we'll never know, but it's hard not to notice the timing.
You're not wrong.
It's a hell of a coincidence.
You're not wrong. All right, let's move on. Real quick here, despite the newly discovered Omicron variant, I love the names for these. They're fucking great, these variants.
Well, I mean, we're going through the Greek alphabet.
I know. It's just really fun for me. A lot of people don't realize that. Omicron sounds like this is like a Cybertronian disease.
It does. Okay? It actually does sound like a Decepticon is coming to eat us or something.
Omicron variant. All right. It may just have us all back in lockdown, next month for all we know. Warner Brothers and DC are continuing. People are talking like this is a new thing, forgetting when Superman was wearing a mask and we were all making fun of it. But yeah, a promo image, go get your kids vaccinated. The DC characters are helping to promote childhood wellness, promoting child wellness. I'm not sure why this is so divisive. It's the same thing with motherfuckers hating on Big Bird.
I mean, everything's divisive nowadays.
It's weird.
It's silly, but I'm not surprised that people would bitch about this too.
Yeah, it's just weird,
But
it's not like Batman is kicking the shit out of you in an alley for not being vaccinated. Okay, that's not happening, y'all. Just chill.
It does look like this thing is easily transmissible, this Omicron variant. It's probably already here. Not to be too alarmist, but it does seem like most of the cases so far of it have been pretty mild. But just inherently, the more it spreads, the more people it's going to kill. Just
and we don't know
the nature of it.
The vaccines that everyone has may help against the Omicron variant. There's just a lot.
I'm sure it's better than nothing. We are in the early stages. There's a lot that could still change. There's a lot we still don't know, but we definitely should be concerned, but we shouldn't necessarily be panicked, you know?
Probably wear your mask still, and it can't hurt.
No downside. Yeah, just keep doing the stuff we should have been doing all along anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly. DC's newest Batman, not the Batman I was talking about earlier, not Bruce Wayne.
No, not Bruce Wayne.
Jace Fox. He's going to leave Gotham in the February 8th issue of I Am Batman, issue number 6. And he's going with the whole Fox family to New York City. Now, this is some old school inside baseball sort of shit, history shit. Batman originally did not hang out in Gotham, Bruce Wayne and Batman. It was in New York City in the, 40s, early 50s. And then, they moved him. DC has said that this will be a permanent move for the I Am Batman title. And, John Ridley, we're going to talk about him later too, for sure. I'm excited about charting this new direction for Jace and the Fox family. This new setting is a great opportunity to do some really creative world building. Really, world building? It's already built, bro. And gives Jace his own allies, adversaries.
Well, it's a new city that he can flesh out. You know,
I mean,
Gotham already has its underworld pretty much, you know.
All right, let's say you're
out.
in Gotham, okay? I don't care which character you are. The character's hanging out in Gotham, and he goes into the sewers.
He's going to run into Killer Croc.
He's going to run into fucking Killer Croc.
Right? You can't...
He's going to run into Killer Croc.
Yeah, you can't do anything in Gotham.
Gotham anymore.
It's all already pre-planned out.
It's all been done.
Everybody already has all their sections.
It's all been done.
It makes sense to move to his own city where he can do his own things. That's a cool cover right there.
That is a really
That's
cool
rad as hell, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious though, does this mean that the Future State stuff is like officially non-canon now? Because like they just ended that story arc with
it's
Fear
be
State.
Over now.
I guess.
Be over.
But like Batman was fine at the end of Fear State. He did not get killed by Peacemaker 01 or whatever like he did in Future State.
No, they beat him.
Yeah.
I know, but
I don't know.
Future State is one of those things like Trinity War. It's almost like I don't want to talk about it because it just gives me a fucking headache.
I mean, I'm not mourning the loss. I thought Fear State was like garbage from beginning to end. I especially don't want like John Kent's Future State status quo to come out because he was the worst Superman ever. In Tom Taylor's run so far, he's been a damn good Superman. I'd hate to see him squander it by like fucking brainiacking Metropolis like he did in Future State.
Empire State of Mind is the name of the arc. It starts in I Am Batman number 6, which is a pretty damn good book. It's solid. Will be drawn by Ken Lashley with colorist Rex Locus and Troy Pateri doing letters. So there you go. We will talk about that book when it comes out. That sounds like a fun. I want to see him introduce New York. Okay. New York City is basically a character in the Marvel Universe. I don't care where you go.
Oh, yeah. There's like 70,000
New York is a character
superheroes
just
in
like
New York.
Gotham is a character.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting to see how John Ridley does with putting his own sort of stamp on making the city, like he was saying, world building and shit like that. You know, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be really fascinating to see like what's the Rogues Gallery going to be like what's his Batmobile going to be? Like, how's he going to get around? Like, you know, shit like that.
You can't drive a Batmobile in New York City.
It doesn't seem particularly viable. No,
he's on the subway.
Maybe he does have a Bat subway. I don't know, but there's plenty of like supporting cast you can establish that will presumably be a bunch of characters we've never seen before. So
that would be fun.
Plenty of opportunity here.
Sure, you can bring in characters that we've never seen before, but you can also bring in characters we have seen and put them in New York and give them that New York.
Yeah, you could pepper in a couple, but you know, I'd like to see more original takes on it.
Oh, me too, for sure.
I don't want the Riddler to just show up for some random ass reason.
I mean, he's got his dad Lucius. He's an established character, and I feel like that's enough. You know, like let's let everyone else be new. What a twist!
Yeah. Ooh. Moving on. What if Miles Morales? New heroic.
Man, that art is super lame.
The art is. I think it's Sarah Pichelli.
Miles looks weird here. Like he looks like
really weird. Dude.
It's weird seeing Miles look jacked. I mean, I get that he's Captain America and not Spider-Man here, but still.
Yeah. So this news, it's Cody Ziegler and Paco Medina. What If, starring Miles Morales, this March. The new spin on the classic What If series will explore the Marvel Comics multiverse and answer the question, what if Miles Morales followed in the footsteps of a Marvel hero other than Spider-Man? So what this feels to me is it's like taking the most recognized legacy character at Marvel Comics and showing what if he was everybody's fucking legacy character, not just Spider-Man's. Dude, that's
Pretty much.
stupid.
That seems
That's
to be the
lame.
idea here. But the
That's
first thing
lame.
I thought of is like, remember a few years ago when they had like Gwen Stacy be like every fucking character?
Gwen
like
Pool.
there was
They're
Gwen
doing that
Pool,
again.
there was Spider Gwen, and
Yeah.
like I think
Yeah,
they
they're
got
doing
around to like
something
Gwen
like that
to
again.
like Wolverine Gwen or whatever. But yeah, now they're doing that with Miles, and I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this, but I'm not excited.
I'm not even.
I'm sure it'll be
interested.
fine. I mean, it could be.
I'm not
good,
interested
but
at all. I
This
mean, I
sounds
like
so
Cody Ziegler as a
stupid.
writer, but I'm this whole concept is
I don't know.
This
You
is
know,
something that I probably won't give a second glance to on the shelf. You know,
If it's a light week, maybe I'll pick it up. But they're also supposed to do.
I'm
like,
just not gonna lie. You know, I'm a longtime DC reader, so I am very burnt out on this what if Elseworlds shit
Yeah,
with
man.
other
And what does it
characters.
matter?
Even with Marvel stuff. Yeah, what does it matter?
Or are they going to set up a new Spider-Verse where it's not? It's
It's
the
Miles.
Miles.
Yeah.
the
Miles.
Miles verse, I guess.
Fuck
Yeah,
that. That sounds so stupid.
yeah.
So yeah, this cover appears to be by Sarah Pichelli, maybe, but they're gonna do versions of Wolverine, Thor, Hulk. That's dumb. Hey, how about give Amadeus Show his own fucking book again, assholes?
I don't know. It wasn't that great.
I like Braun. Okay, I
It
like.
was okay, yeah, but it wasn't.
But I guess
like
circling back to this though, it's just I don't see like this being like a big exciting thing for people, you know?
Yeah,
like
me neither, dude.
it just seems like kind of a half-baked idea that they're running with.
half-baked cash grab is what it feels
all right,
like.
last news bit. This is a quick one too before we talk a little bit of Hawkeye. Back in 2017, Disney, well, it's probably 2016, Disney bought Lucasfilm and got Star Wars. So then they took Star Wars away from Dark Horse, obviously, and gave it to Marvel, and it was great. You know, they were doing some really cool shit. In doing that, their all ages stuff went to IDW, Idea Works, or whatever. Now that's changed. IDW was announced last month is losing Star Wars. They've been doing Star Wars Adventures, Star Wars High Republic Adventures, and one-shots here and there. It's going back to Dark Horse. Spring 22, fans can expect to experience adventures in every era from the High Republic through the rise of the First Order at Dark Horse.
Well, a lot of old school Dark Horse Star Wars fans will be happy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I get like that. This is like kind of like a homecoming for them that like longtime comic readers will probably be like, oh, well, that's kind of neat. But these books were never for us. You know, these were for the kids.
Yeah,
and I'm not reading them now, and I'm not going to read them when they switch over to Dark Horse. You know,
they're quite all right, but I agree with you 100%. Okay, the Dark Horse comics for Star Wars, the expanded universe, as they love to call it. I mean, that was a lot of people's Star Wars. At least people in my circles. That was their fucking Star Wars. That's where they learned. It wasn't the novels. It wasn't the TV shows. It wasn't, the movies. And then these comics.
And I'm glad for
everything.
Them, you know?
We're everything.
Like, this news doesn't mean one thing to me one way or the other, but I am glad for the people who like cherished the Dark Horse Star Wars comics, you know?
Well, I feel bad for them in a way, and I'll tell you why, because they are not going to get the quality or the creativity
because
that they got with the expanded universe at Dark Horse.
Yeah, because they're getting the children's books. They're still not getting the main books. So
exactly,
you know, it's kind of like a ghost of itself, you know.
It's not even really. Yeah, I mean it feels like sort of a bait and switch, man. You know, they are not going to enjoy what they're going to pick up if they are just reading High Republic and Star Wars Adventures at Dark Horse. Okay, they are not going to enjoy it. And Marvel, for as successful as they've been, as good as their Star Wars shit has been, they have not really hit the mark when it comes to the tone and tenor of a lot of those Dark Horse books. People love that shit for a reason. It was dark. It was Star Wars,
a lot darker.
Man. It was fucking amazingly good. Yeah, this ain't gonna be that.
But I guess from Dark Horse's perspective, this is going to be a huge boon for them. So I'm sure they're glad for the news.
Oh, for
sucks
sure.
for IDW though.
Yeah, it sucks for IDW. As far as I can tell, they're still keeping the Marvel action shit, the all ages Marvel books, like Spider-Man and and Avengers.
Well, I'm sure they'll stay afloat, but this obviously going to really hit their bottom line pretty hard.
Yeah, pound for pound, IDW's probably got the best line in pop culture in terms of comics. They got MLP, TMNT. They got.
They got a lot of great
GF,
IP.
They got Joe. They got all the Hasbro.
That doesn't mean all those books.
That's probably $1 trillion worth of IP over the next 10 years. We're gonna have.
What are they doing
at least
with Joe right now?
Over the next 2 years. No, over the next 2 years, 10 years, we're gonna have 2 Joe movies, 3 Transformers movies, 2 My Little Pony animated movies, and 2 new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV shows. And probably a new movie. Dude, that's like $1 trillion worth of IP.
Well,
Star Wars,
if you're getting the box office, it'll be great advertising.
Star Wars.
I'm sure it'll bump up their sales and everything, but that's not a direct correlation like all these things.
It's a direct correlation to popularity of the IP. And
they have popular IP, it just doesn't mean that they're selling books.
The Buffy IP does not boost Boom Studios because it's the only place the IP exists anymore is in comics.
That's fair. These movies
that's
can't.
What I mean by that.
Like when these movies and TV shows come out, it can't do anything but help, right? But
that's what I mean.
They're not necessarily going to be,
IDW ain't going to be jumping in Uncle Scrooge's money pit, but they're going to be doing a lot better if it was fucking Buffy. Who ain't got shit. They've rebooted Buffy now 3 times in like 2 years over at Boom Studios. All right, little quick. Spider-Man No Way Home. I think this is the most important screenshot out of the trailer. That ain't Tom Holland. That's not our Spider-Man in this magic-y costume. I don't know who keeps thinking that Tom Holland as Spider-Man Peter Parker in this movie is going to be wearing the magic suit. He's not. And why would Electro be in the background doing Electro things while Spider-Man just hanging out, showing out? No. It's a Sinister Six, and this is number 6 right here.
That's number 6.
That's what I'm calling.
Well, who do we all have confirmed, right? We got
Electro.
We got Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. We got Jamie Foxx's Electro. We got Alfred Molina's. We don't know if it's Thomas Hayden Church, but we do have Sandman for sure.
That was 3, 4. And 5 is.
Who is 5? I forget.
The Lizard.
Oh, right.
Lizard.
Yeah. Everyone wanted to see, Garfield and Maguire running around the trailer. Don't be dumb.
No, they're not going to give that.
I'm still not 100% sold that they are even going to be in the fucking movie. But if they are, they're not going to blow their wad in the trailer.
If they're bringing back all the old actors and like all these characters from across the multiverse, honestly, at this point, it would be weird if they weren't in the movie.
Yeah.
I can take it or leave it. All this multiverse stuff. It doesn't make the movie any better or worse to me.
And it was the best superhero movie of all time.
Well, true, but that's kind of its own thing. And I don't know that necessarily
Well, it was.
It was the best Spider-Man movie ever made. I don't think it's necessarily the best Spider-Man movie ever made because of the multiverse stuff, though.
No, you're absolutely right.
So I don't think that including all this multiverse stuff automatically makes it better in my eyes. I'm sure it'll be good. I am looking forward to it, but all this multiverse stuff is just kind of irrelevant to me. It's it'll be good or bad based off of its merits, telling its story, not because of how many cameos it gets.
Here's how I view the multiverse: is hopefully it builds up to a Secret Wars movie in 10 years. Other than that, I can take it or leave it.
Oh, I'd be cool with that.
As long as the movie's good, as long as the plot makes sense, I'm down for it.
The
Whatever.
MCU version of Spider-Man has, in my opinion, been a disappointment. I'm not a fan of this version at all.
I can understand people not liking how much like Iron Man is like piggybacking on the movies. I can understand how
scared of heights.
Well, I mean, he was like
scared of fucking heights.
He was like a child when he was in that one.
He lives a borough away from the tallest buildings on the fucking planet, and he's at the top of the Washington Monument, nervous. Come on, that's just
I will
bad.
say though that Tom Holland Spider-Man is my favorite Spider-Man. I think
Holland,
his portrayal
of this version of Spider-Man, but I will agree that his movies are at best just okay.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Tom Holland is the best Peter Parker on screen, hands down. No argument. You can't even debate it. Why? Because he's literally in junior high school when it starts. That's where he's supposed to be. Okay,
that is true. That is true. But I don't know. There's something that's so special about the awkwardness of Tobey Maguire.
No, you're not
Peter
wrong.
Parker.
I'll always have a soft spot for those old Tobey Maguire movies, but it's hard to go back. Like all these old superhero movies that came out before the MCU that were like, more campy, like didn't like take themselves like kind of as at face value as the modern superhero movies do. It's hard to go back.
I don't know what executive saw that mask for Green Goblin was like, that's perfect. That's what we're going with.
Well, if you saw the screen test for the actual like physical effects that they were going for, you would see why they went with the mask. The mask was the better choice.
It's bad. So yeah, we'll see. This movie's really building itself off of nostalgia, and I'm okay with that. I can't really bitch because Logan is like my favorite superhero movie, and that's all it does. It uses terrible X-Men movies to build something awesome. If this can do that, use all of these, because we're bagging on these fucking Spider-Man movies as shit. So if it can take all of these shitty Spider-Man movies and turn it into a fun experience, hey, I'm cool with that.
Whatever, yeah.
All right, Hawkeye. Disney Plus, episode 1 and 2 have dropped. Never Meet Your Heroes was episode 1. A lot of exposition, a lot of explanation in episode 1, kind of introducing everyone. I
still liked it though. It was still
me too.
Entertaining. You were right earlier. It definitely has a very large, heavy comedic tone to it.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be.
I kind of appreciate that we're kind of getting like the lower stakes though, like we're not having like the multiverse come apart like in Loki. We're not having like this big apocalyptic event for a small town like in WandaVision.
Dry cleaning.
Yeah, I mean
that's literally what's happening.
The biggest stakes here seem to be, is Clint going to get home in time for Christmas? And you know what? That's it's a refreshing change.
That's what makes the movie. All right.
Yeah.
Once it's all said and done.
It is.
This
so
is a holiday classic. Once it's all said and done, it is. It's all about, can Hawkeye get home to his family?
The score is great. It reminds me, I watched Home Alone like a week ago, and the score reminds me so much of like the whole score in Home Alone, where they weave in, Christmas music into the actual score.
And not maybe Christmas music, but Christmassy sounding.
Exactly.
There's jingle bells and
they're doing a good job, like getting like the Christmas atmosphere into this. Like they're weaving it in, like not like beating you over the head with it, but like, it's still an ever-present background.
A little bit.
But like
Christmas.
They're not crossing the line, I don't think.
You're right. They're not crossing the line, but you definitely know it's the holiday season.
It's impossible not to like get that. It's all over the background. It's all over the foreground sometimes. It's everywhere. But you know how like the Ant-Man movies were like a palate cleanser, where like it's more of a fun little offshoot thing. After they usually release them after like Avengers movies, right? So that like we can have like lower stakes, more straightforward thing. That's what this feels like to me, at least for like the Disney Plus shows.
After Loki, when everything ends, holy shit. Yeah, you're right. It feels good.
This is so low stakes compared to Loki.
Like, who gives a fuck about the Ronin costume? Come on, man. Who cares?
Oh, but I guess also worth noting about the show is what's her name? Haley Steinfeld?
Yeah, Steinfeld.
She's really good as Kate Bishop. I'm really liking her so far.
Fantastic. She was good in the Transformers movie.
Yeah, she was really great.
She's in this show where it's like a retelling of Little Women or something. I don't know. My wife watches it. I've watched a couple episodes just hanging out. It's okay. But she's great in it. I guess the coolest part is Rogers the musical.
I'd go see Rogers the Musical.
I would not go see Rogers the Musical. I would watch the Disney Plus.
I would go see this Rogers the Musical if it was explicitly a parody play. Like you knew it was a parody play.
Yeah,
going into it.
I can do this all day. Yeah, they actually wrote a song, for it. It's fucking hilarious. But I mean, that's all you really need to know about the show. It's Hawkeye hanging out with Hawkeye, and this is the tone they're taking. The Steve Rogers Avengers Save New York musical. My favorite part of the first episode, the joke, Ant-Man wasn't even there. He wasn't even there.
It's true. And Hawkeye does seem to be a little bit salty about it.
Hilarious, man. Just hilarious.
I also enjoyed Hawkeye going LARPing.
No, that was a bit over the top for me. It's like, okay, they're reaching a little bit for the comedy, but if you look at holiday comedies, they're all kind of over the top. Holiday comedy movies, so it's keeping with that theme, and just because of that, if it wasn't for the Christmas shit in this would be a dog shit show. It'd be terrible.
I don't know about that, but the Christmas stuff.
I disagree there. But
Lucky the Pizza Dog is dope. Them stealing from Fraction and Aha is perfect. If you're gonna steal from the greats.
Well, yeah, apparently Matt Fraction's like a full-fledged producer on this.
Well, he got a credit, so he get paid. Up until like a month or two ago.
So he got paid, but Aha didn't get a credit, so he's still.
That's
not
what I've
paid.
read. Yeah, I've read that on Twitter that he has not gotten paid for anything.
That's some bullshit.
That's some bullshit. Any comic fans out there? The scene where the Tracksuit Mafia are throwing Molotov cocktails at Kate's apartment, and Clint busts the window with his elbow, catches the cocktail, and throws it back. That is straight out of the comics. I should have gotten the page. There's a page where that happens in the fucking comic. I mean, straight rip that shit off. But I'm okay with it.
My prediction for the show's future course is that Kate's mom is actually the bad guy.
Well, we know Swordsman, Duquesne is the sword.
I think he's going by Jack here instead of Jacques, but yeah, Swordsman's it's too obvious that he'd be the bad guy now, so they wouldn't have seeded that in
he's
like
the secondary bad guy.
Yes.
Dude, in episode 2, he literally goes I thought it was just out of nowhere. Like Kate's like, "Oh, go get your sword. We're fencing in the living room," and I'm like, "Really?"
Yeah, Swordmaster's like Taskmaster in the Black Widow movie, and then her mother is like the boring guy who used pheromones or something.
That was so dumb. Don't even get me started on how dumb that part was in Black Widow. Man, is Marvel purposely putting just the dumbest shit, just one big dumb stupid thing in all their movies?
I guess.
You can't beat the bad guys. You have a fucking dragon in Chinese Wonderland. You can't beat the bad. You have a dragon.
I mean, the bad guy was a dragon too.
Oh, sure.
I mean, by your own logic, that's a wash, right? It's dragon v dragon.
I don't know. That dragon was losing, and then Shang-Chi jumped on his back, and now it's winning. When did Shang-Chi learn how to drive a dragon? When?
It's just instinct, man.
That's not quite what happened.
It comes with the ring powers, which aren't really rings. They're bracelets, okay? They're bracelets. Let's do food news. I got a gross one.
Yummy.
All right, this is the holiday season. Gingerbread red vine.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
That's gross.
That is nasty.
That's a terrible idea.
Ugh.
Does it still taste like licorice underneath? What the hell?
Shit, it tastes like shit.
I mean, black licorice and red licorice taste nothing alike. I don't even know how they can share a name. But yeah, Red Vine's gingerbread twists, festive limited time. Thank goodness. Candy with gingerbread flavor. You get them at American Licorice Company's website. $2.39 for a 4-ounce tray.
Oof.
While supplies last. Nasty.
I bet supplies will last for a while.
Yeah, they're gonna have these next year.
I mean, I could see this being something you got for the grotesque novelty of it, but I can't imagine anyone being like, "Oh man, I find this so appetizing." Yeah.
The only reason I could even ponder anyone wanting to purchase these is for building supplies for your gingerbread house.
I guess.
That would be,
well, even then, like if I was building a gingerbread
log.
Yeah, if I was building a gingerbread house, like I'd want like the red is like kind of a change.
Yeah, as an accent.
Like, yeah.
Sure. Well, hey, some people want to build their shit with pure ginger. Okay, like a log cabin, no plastic on my log cabin.
So
only
like
ginger
for the really anal gingerbread house architects out there. Try to come up with a non-gross one next time, man.
I'll do my best.
I appreciate it.
The gross ones. I kind of like the gross ones.
I just like feel like you need to like go mix it up. Like I feel like the last several were gross.
Yeah, maybe. Let's do moment of destruction. All right, we got some great news. There's a couple of books coming out. IDW unleashes an ancient evil in Transformers War's End. All right.
Ruckley's finally getting somewhere, apparently.
Yeah, to the end. We've already seen the end of the war. It was called Phase 2. Shut up, IDW. February's debut of new War's End miniseries serves as an essential companion to the ongoing Transformers series. They're going to redefine the meaning of villainy. It's a 4-part miniseries. Ruckley is going to be on it. Jack Lawrence is going to be doing the art. Exercon.
So it'll look great.
Exercon is coming. Single-handedly plunged Cybertron into darkness long ago. We got actually a little bit of background in this week's Transformers number 37.
Yeah, finally, 37 issues into the series, they give us.
We learned about the war that we just learned about. So we'll see. I don't know. War's End is about unfinished business for both the characters and for Cybertron as a whole. It's the return of Cybertron's traumatic past to upend its present, and answers the question: if your planet has at its core the collective spark of your entire civilization, just how vulnerable might that make you? What? How is that a question? Whatever. That's stupid.
I mean, very. Like, even as someone who doesn't know much about Transformers, it seems like an obvious yes.
I'm just glad that this book is finally going somewhere. Since we're getting I'm assuming this is like an event book.
No, it's just a 4-issue miniseries.
Well, yeah, but it's like
you assume something cool is going to happen. We're going to have answers to questions.
I am hoping something cool will finally happen. Yes.
So up to now, my Transformers work has been post or pre-war. So with War's End, I'm excited to contribute to the Cybertronian War itself. This story is understandably darker and grittier. How are you contributing to
the war itself if it's the end?
Again, dude, I don't know it.
More questions. Okay,
I get to draw. Jack Lawrence in here saying how awesome it is to draw characters he's loved for more than 35 years. Jack Lawrence, you are a fucking treasure, sir. Don't let anyone ever tell you different. You are an amazing Transformers artist, but Brian Ruckley can go fuck himself. This book has been shit. This sounds boring. I don't know. Angel Hernandez is doing a cover, and there's an EJ Sue retailer incentive that I don't have a copy of, but this is the Jack Lawrence. Now, this might be the EJ Sue cover. Anyway,
EJ Sue,
I don't know. It looks great. The EJ Sue cover looks fun. That's Extracon.
Colors are popping.
That's Extracon. I just learned that this week because I read issue number 37 of Transformers. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, Saturday Morning Adventures.
Oh, man. This doesn't look like it's for me.
What
is the fucking point of this? Like, the comics are already, like, cartoony, aren't they?
Dude, no shit. With the nostalgic appetite for the 80s pop culture as powerful as ever. Is it, though? Is it?
Well, I guess if you've been reading, like, the Real American Hero book that Larry Hamm has been writing, it is so far away from the original status quo of G.I. Joe. So I guess they want to give you a book that is, exactly what you remember from watching the show as a kid.
A Real American Hero, Saturday Morning Adventures, a special send-up of the classic cartoon. shipping monthly and featuring fan favorite creative team Eric Burnham and Dan Shaning. Colorist Luis Antonio Delgado. Great creative team on this, actually. What is up with the TV here with the one? You see that? The one in the corner's got a TV? Come on, man. Everyone knows that G.I. Joe is the code name for blah, 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 blah. I loved how straight up weird cartoons can be, says Burnham. All right. I don't even know what this is going to be.
It's just going to be
like continuations of the show. Like,
well, I guess sort of. I mean, the show never really had much of a continuity anyway to it.
It had some continuity.
It did a little bit, but most of the episodes you could watch in any order, and
that's true.
Doesn't really
Where's
matter.
Serpentor?
I guess like the real thing they're pulling back here is just like the stupid bullshit that Cobra gets into, because like he has a fucking magic lamp on the goddamn cover here.
It's the same thing as the Batman '89 shit and all those other random ass DC books that they're doing.
It's exactly what's in my notes. That's exactly what I was going to say next. So yeah, there you go. It looks. I mean, I'll read it. I don't care.
Oh, I know you'll read it. You're a G.I. Joe mark. You
G.I.
buy
Joe
anything
mark.
G.I. Joe.
I really am. All right, so we'll see what's up with that. Transformers number 37. Let's get into the reviews. Just a couple of them, because again, I didn't get King Grimlock.
Who is this on the cover?
That's supposed to be Codexa, no?
Is it? Okay. Yeah. I have no idea.
I have no
idea who this is on the cover.
Brian Ruckley. Art was wrong on the solicit. It was Winston Chan and the incomparable Guido Guidi.
Even though I feel like they kind of wasted his art a little bit.
They did waste his art a little bit. Like this. This is Winston Chan. Looks good, modern.
Yeah.
This is Guido Guidi.
So
it's hard to tell.
Well, the problem is that they had the same colorist throughout the entire book.
Exactly.
They had John
Paul Guido Guidi color his own shit.
Yeah, they had John Paul Bove color the entire book, and he did not change the colors between the time periods. And so the only way you can really tell, you can tell if you're really paying attention between Guido's art and Chan's art.
Yeah.
But if you're not actively looking for it, the first time it does the transition, you are completely thrown off.
The only reason I knew is because I knew Cyclonus don't talk to nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I could say, oh, okay, yeah, Cyclonus is, unless he's got a shitty attitude. And this, he had kind of a great, brave, courage leader.
So they definitely needed a different colorist, or let Guido Guidi do his own colors for his own past periods.
For sure.
So 100. This issue, going into the actual story, we actually get some background on Exarchon. We learn that he's like a weird virus sort of thing.
Like his spark has been, I had it on tip of my tongue.
He's like a parasite almost. His spark can go and infect other sparks.
He's like Smith from the fucking Matrix, kind of.
Oh yeah, exactly. He's kind of like Smith from the Matrix. He can go and like when he touches you, he can like replicate into you basically and take over your body.
Yeah.
And he can hold up to 3 bodies at a time.
Yeah.
And
he's like Voldemort with the, they were under a spell. They really weren't Death Eaters. They were just under a spell. Which I mean, if they dig into that a little bit more, that whole Exarchon thing, because this is the first time we've gotten any background on who Exarchon is, what the War of the Threefold Spark actually was, and it is very impactful to the story thus far. So, if there were some bots who were following Exarchon because they really liked what he was doing, and there were other bots who were following Exarchon because Exarchon was making them, how did they figure out who was doing what? You know what I mean? Just like in Harry Potter with Voldemort and his Death Eaters. It would be really cool if they brought some of that to the forefront. It
would be.
Yeah, maybe explain away. Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
Really, the only 2 characters we know who worked for Exarchon are Skywarp, who was brutally blown up and eaten last issue.
That's awesome. So cool.
And Shockwave, who does Shockwave.
Who at this point
he's cloning. He's making a clone army of Insecticons.
Yeah. And he is the one who sent all of these bad guys to basically, I don't know. get over on the Autobots here because he wants the Matrix.
So the main present day story of this is Optimus goes and meets Codexa in her Codexa
waste
cave.
of fucking time, just
and
like last time.
It was a total waste of time, and not only was it a waste of time, but they got ambushed because it was a known waste of time that they were going to go there.
Yeah.
And they managed to mostly get away from the ambush, except for Ultra Magnus, who gets captured.
That'll be interesting, depending on what they do to his ass.
Yes.
Astro Train could never take Ultra Magnus. Just going to throw that out here. Never. In a million years, is Astro Train going to be able to kick Ultra Magnus's ass?
It was a cool fight. Happen. They do cool fight scenes in these.
Yeah, it was some good action. Overall, an above par, a little bit better than usual issue. It feels like it's actually going somewhere.
Yes, it feels like it's actually ramping up.
had some great moments in this. So,
Cyclonus, he was introduced in the first issue with his weird talking ghost people friends.
Yeah.
And they really did nothing with it for a really long time.
And now they're trying to bring that back a little bit.
Yeah, and I feel like it was just way too soon. They shouldn't have introduced him that early in the series.
If they wanted to introduce him and string us along a little bit, maybe not have 10 ghosts that only he sees hanging out behind him all the fucking time. Maybe play it off where he's talking to nobody,
Yeah, make that a reveal or something.
Yeah, dude, yeah. All right, finally, an okay book. Beast Wars number 10. Eric Burnham, Josh Bertram. A little bit more about that golden disc thing that started this whole mess, but not really.
You want to know what that golden disc thing actually is? That golden disc is actually the Voyager golden disc.
Okay, that's okay. So how are they traveling through time, though? Because I thought this was a prehistoric Earth that they are on right now.
They are on a prehistoric Earth.
So how'd that
Voyager disc has the coordinates to Earth or something on it, or I don't know. But that's how that's how Cybertronians originally find out about Earth or something. I don't know, but I just know that that's the Voyager golden disc.
Yeah. Great page here, man. I love this. This is the last. This is like the big reveal. The Maximals are taking it to the Predacons, which was nice.
Well, yeah, that's the big theme with this issue was this is the Maximal counter attack. The Maximals are going after the Predacon base. They're not trying to hurt or they're not trying to kill anybody. They're just trying to sort of cripple the Predacon's capabilities so that the Maximals can go out later on. And
I like how they were arguing about
protoforms.
Yeah, they want to save the protoforms that are in orbit. And not even really save them because they do want to save them, of course.
They just want to make sure the Predacons don't get them.
They don't want them to make more enemies, which, I don't know, it's kind of cool. But like Rat Trap wants to go, why don't we just go in there and light them all up, Prime? We'll murder them all. He's like, no, I don't want to murder anybody. And it's like, man, I think you'd be better off murdering them.
I will say the strongest part of this series is definitely the interactions between the characters. Yes. I like how all the Maximals interact. Rat Trap was a standout this issue.
Agreed.
Just talking shit about the shitty non-plan that they have.
Yeah.
There was some weird
Pterosaur was cool.
Yeah. Pterosaur came out of nowhere doing his Starscream impression.
Yes, that's what it gave you, those great Starscream vibes. I hope they keep that energy going, man.
Yeah, that was the thing he did in his one season of Beast Wars.
Yeah.
They were, and I also enjoyed Waspinator's one brief moment of like super competence, where he was like, "Oh wait, I know what this is," and then he kind of saves everybody from getting the shit bombed out of them.
Yeah. So overall, a much better issue than 37.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, King Grimlock. We'll talk about King Grimlock next week because again, everything points to it's coming out next week.
Oh,
the shop may have gotten it delivered.
Well, I would be curious, Adam. Like, how did you like it?
It is exactly what it is. It is Grimlock doing a Conan story.
Yeah.
So if you like Grimlock doing a Conan story with some really cool art, that's what you're gonna get. This issue, he fights a dragon. So that's all. That's all you really need to know.
Nice. We're gonna do top 3. The solicits were just fucked, like I said this week. Previews World didn't have Marvel shit up. Diamond, obviously, shipping books out of order because I'm telling you that King Grimlock is the release date is next week. I checked it on Comixology.
Well, I got it early.
Well, I mean, the shop probably put it out, which is fine. I mean, I guess they're allowed to, but Diamond got to get their shit together. All right,
Yeah.
Diamond gotta get their shit together. Let's do top 3. It's gonna be a weird one. There was not much this week. Adam, you want to go first? Taylor ain't got one. He got a top 1 or top half because he's halfway through Black Panther.
I mean,
all right.
I can tell you what I've finished 3.5 books. So by process of like elimination, like
you'll
by
have a
default,
top 3
I do have a top 3 then. Sure.
Okay, good. Then Taylor, you go first then.
All right. I guess my honorable mention will be half the book I haven't finished yet, which is Black Panther #1.
Man, that book is dope.
I don't like the voice he's giving T'Challa here.
I don't mind it. I like
He's
it.
too casual, you know? That he doesn't have like this like regal air to him like I feel like he should.
That's fair. I like what's going on though with everything.
Sure.
Becoming a democracy. Him.
That's interesting stuff.
In that, his
I'm glad to see
relationship
them
with the Avengers is brilliant.
I
love it.
They are doing a good job balancing a lot of the different threads from like the Avengers book, from Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Panther book. So yeah, it is a good first issue in that it is like building upon what's come before, and also the whole intergalactic empire that they have going, as well as like this transition to democracy. So yeah, it's good. The only thing I didn't like about it was I did not like the characterization of T'Challa in this.
That's fair. I'm okay with that.
It's a pretty important part.
No, you're not wrong. Dude, the dialogue between him and Shuri was fucking awesome. I loved that. But what's your number 3?
From a number 3, I guess I'll have to do Hulk #1. This was always going to be a tough transition because they just finished what might be the greatest run on Hulk ever.
Unfair.
And I think that they made the right choice just to really do something way fucking different, where this is like stupid bullshit. Like Donny Cates
totally stupid bullshit.
Yeah, Donny Cates is good at doing stupid bullshit though, and so hey, this is a pretty solid example of fun, stupid bullshit.
Yeah,
I don't like. It's kind of a weird idea, right? Like this is the spaceship Hulk or some fucking crap.
Well, I understand. What's happening is Banner is now in control.
Sure.
And is using the Hulk as a spaceship. Basically, he's riding around the Hulk and Banner's shared psyche is basically the bridge of the Starship Hulk. And yeah, that idea is way fucking out there, way silly, but it makes sense.
It also is reminiscent of a story that Jason Aaron did a few years ago where Hulk and Banner were separated and Banner was like this huge piece of shit.
Yeah. I'm ready to see piece of shit Banner.
Well, he's being a piece of shit. So, off to a good start there.
Yeah. But how about, all right, because at one point in this, it actually opens where he's hanging out talking with Betty. Is that her name, Betty?
Yeah. Or at least like his mental projection of her.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not actually Betty. It's him. It's Banner.
Yeah, so it does look like we're still doing like the Hulk. This is more of like him fighting with his own inner demons more so than some external threat, which, that's a lot of good Hulk stories, including the Hulk story we just got away from.
I think that is good Hulk storytelling. This is my number 2. I did not have a problem with this at all. A lot of people hated this on the internet. I
enjoyed it.
It's not my jam.
It's stupid bullshit, but I am not against stupid bullshit.
I like stupid bullshit, especially after the big cerebral mind fuck that was Immortal,
Well, yeah, I mean, that's when I sat down to read this, I had to this is not going to be as good. Or at least you are not going to enjoy it as much as what you just left behind.
It's different.
It's an impossible act to follow. Yeah.
Yeah. And let's give Donny Cates some credit. Okay. The last series that he followed was Thor.
Yeah,
okay?
he is really stepping up to the plate for some impossible pitches they're throwing at him, follow Jason Aaron's Thor run. Follow Al Ewing's Hulk run.
It sucks. His Thor run kind of sucks. It's selling. I mean, it's still selling though.
Well, sure it is, because like Thor's a super popular character. But
and I think it's just so unfair for us to be like, oh, nothing's gonna follow Immortal Hulk.
Well, see, that's the thing. Is like I'm trying to be fair. This is a fun read. I enjoyed reading it, but it's completely unfair for me to like have to be constantly comparing it to the previous thing. So I should really stop doing that.
Yeah. How about this? 10, 20, 30 years from now, no one is going to remember that Donny Cates' Hulk followed Immortal Hulk. You know what I mean?
They might also remember Immortal Hulk and not remember this, though.
And possibly they'll remember Donny Cates' Hulk run. You know,
maybe
Immortal Hulk will be immortal. It will always be one of the top 5 easily, probably top 3 Hulk runs of all time.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess to like kind of take that comparison, I have no idea who followed Walt Simonson on Thor.
Who followed Peter David?
Yeah, I have no idea who like stepped in after Peter David.
You know who? Yeah, I mean, who followed Hickman on X-Men? Well, that was Gary Duggan, and that's getting to me. Honorable mention, Decorum number 8. This was the final issue. Hickman and Huddleston. Comic book masterclass. I mean, that's some of the art we're looking at here, man. I mean, that's just amazing. So this is basically a story about the most well-mannered assassin in the known universe. Perfect Hickman book, charts, graphs, mind fucks, all kinds of weird, deep, shit. I loved it. But my number 3 book this week, X-Men number 5.
It's my number 2.
It's actually my number 1, but
awesome.
Pretty slim list for me. So.
Zay Carlos, Javier Pina. The series continues to be stellar. If not, it meanders a little bit. I don't think it's really found its footing 5 issues in.
My problem with it is it has too many, villains by the months. It's too many villain by the months. It needs to focus on one thing.
Yeah, I mean, this issue introduced a new fucking villain.
Yeah, even this issue did. But that said, at least this issue focused on one character to flesh out, and that was Polaris.
Perfect.
They've been doing that a little bit, though. Like, they had that Jean issue a couple weeks back. And I really did love, like, following Lorna around here. I especially like her, like, utilizing her powers here to
marionette
weaponize Laura.
Marionette as a verb.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That was a cool thing. And
the best part, and I called it as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, she gonna wake up and Lorna's gonna be puppeteering her ass around. And it happened. Laura woke up and like, what the fuck? It's just perfect, dude. Yeah.
But in addition to that, I also really enjoyed kind of like the character that they're presenting here, because like, we see that she was saying like, oh, don't put me in the X-Men. And at first we're like, whoa, Jean, kind of a dick move. But then we find out later in the issue that like, she is like always her own worst advocate, like she has this mental block, probably from Magneto being such a shitty dad.
Oh my God, I was just gonna say that she got daddy issues, bro.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've seen like Magneto is always just shitting all over her at every step. He's
all
like,
his kids.
She's the third.
Magneto is a bad dad.
She's the one who fucking deserves it.
But yeah, and so I did appreciate this whole thing where like Jean recognized that she deep down did want to do this, but she has all this mental baggage that keeps her from even thinking it, right?
Yeah.
And how she does need a team like this. I thought that was a cool way to kind of like give her some character work here.
It was like showing off her imposter syndrome. It was just very well done. And
that's very well said. Yeah.
And that's what it takes to get over imposter syndrome. It takes one of your peers saying, no, you got this. You are the shit. And by the end of the issue, Polaris does get it. And she's passing that off. She's passing it on, to the next person. I just thought it was wonderful, dude. Just great issue. Adam, honorable mentions and number 3. I think all my books have been mentioned.
Honorable mention, Wolverine number 18.
That's my number 2, so I can be done here.
Fun issue. It's better than the last X-Force issue where they were fucking surfing.
Yeah, Ben Percy.
I'm glad we missed that week.
Ben Percy just understands Wolverine. He gets the character. So the book is solid every week.
Yeah.
This Wolverine is typically a very gorgeous book. This month it wasn't so much.
It was still gritty.
Yeah, the art still wasn't bad. It was just serviceable.
I did miss having one of those like huge like panel montages that's kind of become like the signature of this book, but it still looks pretty good.
It's still all right though.
Driving that semi truck, action movie fucking style, through the Krakoan gate at the last minute.
Oh yeah,
that was fun.
Closing it, dude. That was awesome.
It's such a Wolverine book. He gets the action part of it, definitely.
Yeah, action wise, this book was epic, dude. And Bannister's cool as hell, dude.
Bannister's a fun character.
Yeah,
like I'm liking him like kind of joining Wolverine's cast here.
Yeah. And then my number 3 was Robin number 8.
Oh, I skipped that this week. Damn.
This one
fool.
I am. Fuck.
This one was finally the confrontation between Robin and Connor Hawke, where they have their big final duel. And the big whatever is going to happens at the end of this. They release a giant monster out of the Lazarus pit after whoever wins the duel wins the duel.
What?
And you missed monster? It, you buffoon.
Yeah, so whenever you get around to reading it, the vast majority of this issue was straight up just fighting. It's a real quick read. Cool. Because there's only dialogue on like a few pages.
Nice,
a lot of it is just straight up Robin and Connor Hawke just dueling it out. So yeah, it's a pretty strong art book. Really enjoyed it. I've been really enjoying this Robin run so far.
It's been cool, dude. After I shit all over the first issue because I was like, I don't want to read a damn fight tournament. But yeah, it's cool.
That's exactly what it is, though. It leaned into that fight tournament thing super hard.
Dude, just read, what was it, issue 5 with the Nightwings or the Robin race?
It's not as good as that, you know.
That's one of the best issues of the fucking year. It was so good.
But, you know, it's still a fun fight scene.
Yeah.
Slim week.
My number 2 was Hulk. I had a great time with this book. Oh, is it not me or is it Taylor?
It's Taylor.
My 2 was Wolverine, which we were just talking about.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, my number 2 is Hulk number 1. Just again, fun, stupid summer blockbuster type action. Really big panels, really big places, really big ideas. That's what Donny Cates, is known for. And you can hate the Cates all you want. I got no problem with that. But don't pick up a Cates book and then shit all over the book for being 100% Donny Cates. All right, because that's what this was. This was Venom number 1.
You should definitely have known what you were in for.
Thank you. And my number 1 is Black Panther, which I can get into more details once we get there, because I'm pretty sure Adam's number 2 was already mentioned as well.
Yeah, my number 2 was X-Men number 5.
Cool issue.
So I guess should I go ahead and do my number 1?
Great issue.
Well, my number 1 was X-Men number 5, so I am done. I'm just a spectator now.
Yeah. So yeah, mine. What was your number 1?
Well,
because you're the only one going to be different.
Coming out of left field, my number 1 was The Flash 776.
Oh my god,
that was gone when I got to the shop.
You don't have that on your pull? That's surprising.
The Flash has always been, since this new run has started, it's always been kind of a B tier, just kind of okay book.
Yeah.
Oh, Leroy.
You're not wrong, Leroy. But
he's not wrong. But this
comic book bullies getting their own OnlyFans.
This issue knocked it out of the park. So this issue was an interactive issue. So the beginning of this issue, Dr. Fate shows up and he pulls Flash into a different dimension. And the point of this issue is Flash and Dr. Fate need to get from one end of this dimension to the other end of this dimension. But in this dimension, the Flash and Dr. Fate are aware of the reader in the comic book, and what the reader in the comic book does affects what happens within the panels of the page. And so you have in this issue Dr. Fate and Flash climbing between panels to get to places.
Oh my god.
And then like they'll go into a room and they need it to be dark or something because there's all these torches out. So they'll be like, blow on the page. So you'll blow on the page. There's so
you're actually in the book. You're
you are an active participant in the book. So they need to get from one end of the canyon to another end of the canyon. So they're like turn the book sideways. So you turn the book sideways when you flip the page, and you see them falling down to the other end. It's freaking awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah. And
that
then you get to the
sound
end.
fun.
You get to the end, and Dr. Fate needs to cast a spell, and he's like, but wait, I don't know what the magical spell stuff is, but we saw them earlier in the book. Can you go back in the book, find out what order they're in, and then can you cast the spell in order on the page for me so you can defeat the bad guy? So you get to...
save the day.
You get to save the day.
I promise I don't mean this isn't it. Yeah, I promise I don't mean this as an insult, but this sounds like the comic book equivalent of watching an episode of Dora the Explorer.
It is so hokey. It is so freaking hokey, but it works. It's great. I love this issue.
Sounds fucking amazing.
I need to add that to my pull list and track this one down.
Amazing. Damn.
There's just a great splash page of Dr. Fate just pulling the panels to the side, sticking his head through the panel, pointing at him and being like, "We need you," doing the Uncle Sam thing, sort of.
Oh man, that sounds awesome. Damn. How come we always miss out on the good shit, Taylor?
I mean, I tried to pick this up, but I wasn't able to get there until yesterday,
Yeah. All right. Taylor, your number one was X-Men.
X-Men.
Yeah, great issue. My number one was Black Panther #1. John Ridley, Wonka Ball. Just a great, not even a reintroduction, sort of a new status quo, a new series of events that's going on. Wakanda's a democracy now. T'Challa, in his new role as premier or whatever the fuck he is. I don't even know. He's more of he doesn't do shit, really. He's like vice president. He doesn't do nothing. But he's got like 10 secret super soldiers all over the world just ready to spring into action should he need them to overthrow a government or murder somebody. And they get found out. And it's got all these great, like this right here. This is all, building to what is going to happen, later on in the series. And man, really had this great pace to this where I don't know, it's just everything. And Taylor is right. T'Challa is not in his typical voice. All right. There's no regality there. He doesn't seem kingly, but he's not a king anymore. So I'm okay with that, but the relationships that T'Challa has here with the Avengers, with his sister, with these secret agents, with Wakanda, and the government of Wakanda, it's just wonderful, man. I really think he's nailing it. And I'm on board. I'm on board for the rest. I will always give John Ridley the benefit of the doubt because of the history of the DC Universe. The other history of the DC Universe was such an amazing book. He won me over with this issue. And I'm all over that shit. All over that shit. Taylor's gripes were right on. T'Challa does sound a little bit different, but I'm okay with that as long as Ridley is consistent with the story that he's telling. So awesome. Kind of a light week. Next week is a lot heavier, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow on the preview show. Come back here and join us. We'd appreciate it. Come back here tonight around midnight for the Comic Book Bullies. Leroy and Eli are going to be kicking it, talking about all kinds of shit. You can find links to them, us, all that stuff at outrightgeekery.com, Patreon, Facebook, all the social medias, all that good shit. So that's it. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. But most of all, thanks to these 3 jokers. I guess there's only 2 of y'all.
Only 2 jokers tonight. You got a different 3 jokers image. Not only are you continuing with that, but like you found a different one to use.
Yeah. This one's the action figures.
Yeah, that's what.
We got that. We knew. Yeah, we knew that.
This is the one from the terrible Jeff Johns book that was supposed to mean everything and meant nothing. Mobius chair. Anyway, we're going to do it all again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
Hey, he really got the drawl on that.
He had a little bit of extra ass on that one.